In this session, I am going to start the chapter number 11, straight lines. So here, actually it is a continuation of what you have studied in standard 10. So you have studied something about straight lines in standard 10. Just we have to do little bit of recapitulation we have to do regarding that. So first of all, here you will come across what is the distance formula. You studied already in standard 10. Section formula, that is also you studied. Centroid of a triangle, this one also you studied. And from here onwards, these things are new for you. So first of all, I am going to say once again what is distance formula. It is the distance between 2 points in a plane. Suppose the points are given x1, y1 and x2, y2. Then the distance formula is under root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So we know the points are x1, y1 and x2, y2. Then the distance is, this is the formula. This is already you know that. You studied in standard 9 onwards this formula. Next, section formula. Section formula you studied. There are two situations of the section formula. One case is we say internal division and the second one is external division. Internal division you studied in standard 10. So what is it? Let it be a line segment A and B. A is the point, let it be x1, y1. B is x2, y2. And there is a point in between A and B, let it be C. And C divides AB in a ratio. Let the ratio, I am taking that let the ratio is M is to N, I am taking the ratio. Then we can say the coordinates of the point X. So this is the internal division. It is happening inside in between A and B. So then the coordinates of the point C we can write it as X is equal to mx2 plus nx1 by m plus n. That is the coordinates of X coordinates of C, and the coordinates of Y is m by 2 plus ny1 by m plus n. This is already you studied in standard 10. That is, this is the situation of the section formula when the point is in between, that is internal division. So this is the section formula for internal division. And next case is external division. What is external division? See, the situation is like this. Let it be A and B 2 points. A and B 2 points on the line, okay? And let it be A is x1, y1 and B is x2, y2. Now I am extending the line AB. AB I am extending. Let it be, this is the point C. In this case we will say that C divides AB externally. So let it be, this coordinate be x, y, and let the ratio in which it divides AB externally, it is m, this is m, and this part we take it as n. So m is to n. In this case, the coordinates of x will be like this. X is equal to mx2 minus nx1 divided by m minus n. And coordinates of y is m by 2 minus n by 1 divided by m minus n. See, only one difference if you look at these two. Instead of plus, there it was plus, and here it is minus. This is the situation of external division, and that was the situation of internal division. So this is a section formula. Two situations are there, the internal and external. So internal division is studied in standard 10, external division is coming in standard 11. So that is about section formula. Then it is about centroid of a triangle. That is also you studied centroid of a triangle. It is the meeting point of medians. Let the triangle is ABC. If the coordinates let it be A's coordinate is x1 comma y1, B's coordinate is x2 comma y2, and C is x3 comma y3. Then the coordinates of the centroid, that is meeting point of medians, that is its coordinates are naming the let it be D. The coordinates of D, that is the centroid, let it be x comma y. And what is x comma y? Here x is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, that is x coordinate, and y coordinate is y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. So this is the coordinates of centroid. This is also you studied in standard 10. Now the next one is after centroid. The next one is in center of a triangle. So it is in center of a triangle. What is in center? In center is, we know in center is the center of incircle. Center of incircle. So and center of incircle, it is how we can find out center of incircle? By drawing angle bisectors. So we can say that in center is the meeting point of angle bisectors. See here, let it be the triangle ABC. This point will be x1 comma y1. This is x2 comma y2, and C is x3 comma y3. So the center in center will be I. So what is the formula? So the formula, I am going to say the direct formula. So before that you know some conventions that you have studied about triangle. If this is we know the vertices denoted by capital letters in triangle, and the side opposite to the corresponding vertices is denoted by small letters. So if this is A, naturally the side BC will be small a, and the side AC is opposite to B, so it is small b, and opposite to C, the vertices C, that is small c. So this is the usual convention we use in triangle. Now we can say the coordinates of the incenter, that will be x comma y. X is equal to ax1, the formula ax1 plus bx2 plus cx3 divided by a plus b plus c, that is ax1 plus bx2 plus cx3 divided by a plus b plus c. This is the x coordinates of the incenter, and the y coordinate is also similarly just a y1 b y2 plus c y3 divided by a y1 plus b y2 plus c y3 divided by a plus b plus c. This is the coordinates of incenter of a triangle. Incenter of a triangle, this you have to memorize it. We have to use this formula. This is new for you. So that is the coordinates of incenter. When the vertices are given, the triangle vertices are given, we can find out directly by this. Where A is the length BC, then the distance we can find out A by distance formula. B we can find out by distance formula. C also we can find out by distance formula. And already you know the coordinates, so substitute here directly between the coordinates of incenter. So that is new for you, incenter. Next after incenter, next we have to know about area of a triangle. How we can calculate area of a triangle when the vertices are given? Area of a triangle. See, a triangle, I am taking it be A, B, C, with the vertices x1, y1, x2, y2, and the next one is x3, y3. Then what is its area? So with the support of the coordinates we can find out the area. So I am going to say the direct formula. So the formula can be, okay, it is derived by a very long process. So you have to memorize the formula. But there is also easy way like this. What you can find is area of the triangle is equal to half. Just you draw two vertical lines like this. Then the coordinates, you start coordinates from any vertices you can start, either from A or from B or from C, anywhere you can start. First of all, I am writing from A, so it is x1, y1. Just write x1, y1. Next, x2, y2. Next, x3, y3. And then once again write the first coordinates. It is x1, y1. First of all, better, this is the easy way of, otherwise remembering so many variables will be difficult. So remember this technique. So this is now half. Now how to expand this? Expansion, only the method you have to memorize it. We have to multiply like this. This way we have to multiply it first of all. That is x2 y1 plus x3 y2 plus x1 y3. This way first of all multiply it and add it. So that can be like this: x2 y1 plus x3 y2 plus x1 y3. First of all multiply like this, and then this way we have to multiply it, and then we have to subtract. So minus x1 y2 plus x2 y3 plus x3 y1. Close the bracket. This is the expanded form of this. So you either you have to memorize this, or again if you want you can do a little bit of factorizing, you can do some grouping or not. Either you have to memorize this or you have to memorize this. I feel this will be easy. You remember the method, the way of multiplication. If you remember, this is the easy way of calculating area. And since it is area, it must be always positive. So that is why we put always absolute value sign here. So we need the positive value. So that is area of a triangle will be calculated. We can calculate with the help of this formula. Either you memorize this or you remember this procedure. The procedure is easy to memorize. So this is the way we can calculate area. So that is area of a triangle. When three vertices are given, area of triangle we can calculate like this. Now the next one, here we can, the next point was collinearity. What was the collinearity? That was the collinearity of 3 points. You already know collinear. Points are collinear means they are in the same line. You studied already 3 different ways to check whether the points are collinear or not in standard 10. One method by distance formula, another one was by section formula, then by slope method. Now here we are going to do with the support of area of triangle also we can check collinearity. Suppose the 3 points are collinear. Then what happens? The area of that area will be 0. Area if 3 points comes to the same line, naturally the area of triangle will be 0. Therefore, what we can say that this area part I can write it as 0. So that is we can write it as 0 is equal to this. Again, if I cross multiply, this 2 comes here, that becomes 0. So ultimately, only this is equal to 0. So ultimately, we can remember like this: if 3 points are collinear, then the area will be 0. So that is the way of checking collinearity of points with the support of area of triangle. Now that was one of the points for collinearity of 3 points. Next one is locus of a point. Last year you studied locus, one chapter you studied about locus. There you are done the construction of locus. So what is locus you studied? It is the path traced by a moving point under some conditions. So that is only locus of a point, the path traced by a moving point. Last year you constructed the path. This year you will be finding the equation of the path, that is equation of locus. So we will be finding this year the equation of locus. That is only we will be doing this year. So for that, you have to remember few steps. Is very easy how to find out equation of a locus. Very simple thing. First of all, you will assume we'll assume the moving point. The first step we'll assume that the moving point be x comma y. We'll take the moving point be x comma y first of all. There will be locus means the path of a moving point. So moving point we'll assume it as x comma y. And then the next step is they will say always some conditions. It's a path traced by a moving point under some conditions. So the second step what we apply the condition. We'll apply the condition. Condition means whatever the condition is given in the question that we will apply. That's the second step. And then the third step is we will simplify whatever the second step what we got, that we will simplify it and we will reach an expression equation we will reach, that is the equation of locus. Okay, we will stop here.